Hope you're doing well. So yeah, got two trucks on the road today. Justin, JR together, knocking out yards. They got a couple bush jobs here and there too. Go along with a pretty big list. They shouldn't be getting done early, that's for sure. Want to make sure that the guys are working at least 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? So got a good little list for them. I'm gonna be pretty much all fertilizing today. I just picked up another pallet of fertilizer, and I'm feeling good that it finally rained. We had a good little rain around my neighborhood yesterday in Opelika yesterday. So yeah, I was glad to see that. Glad God blessed us with a good little rain shower to rain the fertilizer in that I spread out last week, because obviously I don't want it sitting out very long. The sooner it can rain in, the better. Obviously those irrigated yards, it doesn't matter necessarily, but still that rainfall is just, it's just better. I think it just makes the grass grow better, and it's just I feel like it'll make it green up sooner with that rainfall. So yeah, I was glad it rained yesterday. I think it was Donnie that was saying that a lot of the nutrients or the nitrogen can evaporate if it sits out there for a long period of time without it being rained in. I've heard that, but I was actually talking to the owner of Piedmont Fertilizer. He's been in business for years, and he was telling me that's a bit of a wives' tale. He was telling me that it can sit out there for weeks and it's not going to be a problem. He said now if it's out there for like 3 weeks, yeah, you might start having some issues or whatever, but he said it can sit out there for several days and you're not going to have to worry about losing nutrients. Now a lot of people tell you otherwise. He claims that's not the case. He's been doing business for a long time, selling fertilizer and chemicals and all that, and he was pretty confident in that answer. He said he's never noticed that, or and he's been studying it and just watching things and that kind of stuff. So that made me feel a little better, because they're not giving really a good chance of rain next several days. So if I happen to spread it out and don't rain, hopefully that's the case. I don't have to worry about it being out, being on the ground for a long time without getting watered in. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up. I'll probably get some footage of me using the permagreen. I got the permagreen and my push spreader, the Lesco push spreader. So I'll probably have to use it on a few yards, because a couple of the yards I'll be spreading on today are pretty steep. You got some pretty steep hills. And even though I'm pretty good with the permagreen and feel pretty confident using it, I don't want to use it on really steep hills just because I haven't used it enough. I don't have enough experience with it, so I always want to be safe on these hills, making sure I don't obviously flip it or anything like that, hurt myself and mess the machine up. But so I'll be getting a lot of fertilizer. I'll let y'all know at the end of the day. I doubt I'll do all the numbers or whatever. I'm sure should hit well over 3,000, I think, today, if everything goes smoothly, for sure, with all the fertilizer I'll be doing. I'm going to try to knock out Opelika, the yards I got left at Opelika to fertilize. That's what I'm going to do first. Then I need to run by the bank, and I'll head to Auburn after that, around lunch, I imagine, and fertilize in Auburn the rest of the day. So trying to get all this fertilizer done, that way we can just focus on obviously mowing and bush trimming. Having some more and more people ask about trimming bushes. Not many, but a few. So now they're starting to really bush out, flush out a little bit. So that's something that I want to make sure I can focus on, the mowing and bush trimming, so I can go ahead and get done with the fertilization part of my business. And of course I'll be coming out again probably in June with another spread in June of fertilizer. But between now and then, once I finish, I can just focus on a couple things. Obviously that makes for business to be more efficient and that kind of thing, keeping staying caught up, not having to worry about fertilizer. But anyway, y'all gonna have a really good day. Gonna mention a few other things throughout the video. We'll talk about Buddy Ray. I tried to bring those two guys together. But anyway, we'll talk more about that later. I hope y'all doing well. Hey guys, that was a good start. I've already knocked out about 7 yards. I have my 8th one here. This is a new one I picked up yesterday. It's got a pretty big backyard, so I told him $100. $100. I may end up charging a little more, but I told him 100, and we'll see how much fertilizer I use. Got a Like I said, a decent sized backyard. The front's not very big. He's been doing his own stuff. It actually looks pretty good. If you see the chart over here, it's got a lot of weeds in it. He's been doing his own treatments, you know, with granular pre-emergent, and he's been using his own selective. But yeah, he wants me to take over and knock them out. But anyway, yeah, my permagreen was flooding earlier. Had a hard time getting going, so I just kept it on. Want to make sure I got this big yard done. But anyway, off to a good start. About to get started. I'll probably get some footage of it. Talk to you later. Alright everyone, I just knocked that out. So something I like to do whenever there's a thin area of someone's yards, I like to check just to make sure the spread or the spreader itself is spreading those granules out fairly evenly if possible. And I'm looking here to get an idea. I don't know if you can really see them. Probably hard to see, but I can tell just looking at it that, yeah, it seems like it's spreading it out pretty evenly. So that's good. That's something I always gotta just make sure of. So whenever I see an area of a yard is thin like this, yeah, I'll just check, just see how my spreader's operating, if it's throwing those granules out consistently, that kind of thing. But anyway, just thought I'd let you know. Done at the next one here. I'm actually going to do a combination treatment. I'm going to fertilize first, and normally when I fertilize and spray at the same time, I'll fertilize first and then spray over the top. But I'm not going to charge them for the actual spray because this is one that's been kind of a difficult yard for me. As you can see all the weeds on this hillside here. I think got two things I'm thinking is causing all these weeds to pop up. In terms of causes why it's not looking better than it is. I started treating it about a year ago. Yeah, a little over a year ago. So I've done a full year of treatments, but I'm still having a lot of issues with this hillside. You see all these broadleaves popping up. I mean, it's gotten better. It's gotten thicker. It's thickened up. But I think it's something to do maybe the hillside, being on a hill, you know, that pre-emergent tends to not stay put like it's supposed to. I really don't know. So when I do this one over here, and all the other ones I've basically done, you know, today have been pretty much weed free. I've been treating for a while. So yeah, I'm really not sure. And also another thing, Justin, I had Justin treat the last time. A lot of times I worry that he don't put it out thick enough. I feel like his swath when he sprays is wider than it should be. So I don't know if he's getting it on thick enough. And that's why you're seeing a lot of these broadleaves still here. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a free spray, at least the front yard in this hill. Obviously I'll charge him for the fertilizer. And we'll see how the backyard looks. I may go ahead and spray the back too. But he usually does a little bit better. But I just noticed this hillside especially, seems like weeds tend to be pretty prevalent on it, and I'm wondering why that is. So yeah, I'm gonna do him a favor and just spray the front, try to get these weeds killed off. and fertilize well. Hopefully the opposite fertilizer will, cause it to thicken up, once you get some more rain and the temps continue to warm up, that kind of thing. But anyway, just thought I'd throw it out there. Yeah, hope y'all doing well. Hi guys, hope you're doing well. So yeah, I just got a bite to eat at my house since I was over in the area. It's about 12 now. So yeah, overall it's going pretty well. I want to talk about a few things. So I've got 11 done. Some of them pretty big. By the way, I went ahead, towed wheel that new yard that I was mentioning before. Let's do 105. I know some of you guys probably come in the comments and say you need to maybe measure it and all that. Well, yeah, you may be right, but that's just not what I do. I mean, I've seen enough yards and I know exactly, or generally what people charge, other companies charge for yards in the area. And it took me probably around a bag and a half to that yard. So, yeah, what is that, about $40, $45 worth of fertilizer, and I'm charging 105. I said before, you're going to get done quicker with the fertilizer and fertilizing the yard, and it didn't take me long at all. But you're probably going to make a little more profit, spraying, because obviously the chemical cost, say in that situation, would have been less, right? So, yeah, I guess it could probably even out given those factors, the fact that fertilizing you can get done quicker and you can spray it. So maybe it kind of evens itself out. You can do more. So I should get a whole lot done now that I'm headed to Auburn. I'm going to stop by the bank first before I do that. Then I'll be off to Auburn, knocking several out. A lot of smaller yards too. There's bigger yards in Opelika, the ones I did earlier. So all in all, I feel like everything's going pretty well so far. Again, I had to pick up that fertilizer pallet, the pallet of fertilizer this morning too, 7. Yeah, I picked up right around 8. So getting a lot done. I want to mention the fact, and I brought it up in the first clip, I think it was Donnie in the comments a few videos ago, he mentioned that he uses liquid. I think I asked him about, the nutrient factor. I've just always used granular. I'm assuming there's going to be more nutrients overall in granular. I know he said that what he uses causes the grass to really green up quick, but I'm curious about the other nutrients in it. And, obviously, I'm assuming there's not any kind of slow release in there, because there's slow release in the mixture here with what I'm using now. So I've just always used granular, and that guy, like I said before, the owner of the Piedmont Fertilizer, I think Donnie mentioned the fact that, if it sits on the ground for a long period of time, and I always actually thought this too, that a lot of that nitrogen can get evaporated. Well, Mark, and it's been a family business for decades, so I feel like he knows what he's talking about. He he was confident as he could be when he said that's a wives' tale, that it can sit out there for several days and, you know, the nutrient factor isn't going to be affected. So, curious what y'all know about that. What have y'all heard? Just curious what you think. I think that's pretty interesting if that is the case. Obviously, that'd make me feel, you know, good if that is actually true. Now, I'm sure a lot of people will say otherwise for sure, but he swore on it. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you ain't got to worry about that. I said, it's not going to be a problem if it sits out there for 2+ weeks. Now, he said something about maybe 3. You might start having some issues or decrease in the effectiveness of it. But yeah, overall, he said not to worry about it. So hopefully that's the case. I noticed a couple yards that I did earlier were already starting to green up, and I'm assuming mainly because of that rain yesterday that I did last week or whatever. But anyway, yeah, y'all let me know on the you know, the granular fertilizer, whether it burns up or not burns up, but if the nutrient value and the nitrogen gets evaporated if it's sitting out in the sun for a long period of time. That's really interesting if that is in fact not the case. I'm just curious what you guys know and what you've heard and studied and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, y'all, just thought I'd throw it out there. Hope you're doing well, having a good day. I really like the permagreen. It's been actually getting flooded a time or two. You know, had a hard time getting it to start in the engine, assuming it's getting flooded. So this past time I actually I shut the fuel line off, the little lever. I turned it off to let the fuel burn out. So hopefully it won't, you know, get flooded again since I'm driving a good ways away, that kind of thing. But anyway, I hope you're having a great day so far, guys. We'll talk later. Alright guys, it's finished up. It's 5:45 now. It's obviously a full day. I didn't quite get really started about 8 because I had to pick up the fertilizer, you know, once they opened at 7:30 at Piedmont. But yeah, I ended up doing 27 yards, y'all. Fertilized 27 by myself. I'm assuming the guys got the list done. I called my wife hour or two ago just to see if they're home yet, because I was thinking, well, if they're home by then and they didn't get the list done. But yeah, I don't think they got done till at least 4 or 5 o'clock, somewhere between 4 and 5. So I'm assuming Justin and JR got their list done, mainly mowing. I think I had around 19-20 yards to mow and a couple bush jobs, small little bush jobs. And I was going around, guys, it's something that comes into play, you know, as far as your scheduling and how I'm doing things today and how I did things last week to an extent. So a lot of the yards they mowed today, yeah, I would come behind them and fertilize. So my thinking was, that's why I didn't worry about mowing any today. I was just strictly fertilizing. That's why I carried both the permagreen and the push spreader. Actually, you saw the clips. Yeah, I push spread a couple of small yards and a couple of the ones that y'all saw me on that big hill. Frankly, I didn't mention it before, but right before lunch, I did a yard where I tried the permagreen on the side of the hill. And I knew it was a little too steep, but I just wanted to try. Well, I almost flipped it over. Luckily, I gathered myself and was able to regain my balance, and I didn't flip the thing over, luckily, but they did kind of scare me a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to have to be careful on that permagreen on, you know, fairly steep hills, that kind of thing, guys. But yeah, y'all, 27 yards. I know me and Ray had that little debate talking about fertilization treatments versus skid steer work. I'm pretty certain I got around $2,000 in my truck today doing the 27 yards. Now, obviously, there's a cost of the fertilizer. I'm guessing I bought a pallet with 40 bags. I don't think I quite did half of it. See, I used between 15, yeah, probably around 18 bags of fertilizer. I'm not sure exactly. And it's 18 times $27 a bag, so whatever that is. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I got, you know, right around $2,000 in revenue, maybe a little bit more now. I'm not really sure. So all in all, I'm thinking, you know, assuming the guys got their list done, we, you know, clipped $3,000 in revenue. So that's really good. But y'all let me know on the fertilization, guys. I mean, I thought that was interesting. Like I said before, the owner, Mark, at the Piedmont Fertilizer Company, where I got the fertilizer, the pallet of fertilizer this morning, last week, you know, making the comment he made about not worrying about the fertilizer sitting on the ground. He said that's a myth. Curious what have y'all heard on that? And this is a guy that's been doing it for a long time, been decades, family business, doing selling fertilizer and chemicals for decades. So if anybody's going to know, it'd be him. And that's what he said. So I mean, obviously that makes me feel good. Hopefully we'll get some rain next few days, but not really sure. Not really sure if we will. But anyway, hey, listen, y'all, yeah, great day overall. I'm pretty tired, obviously. Like I said, it's almost 6 now, so I'm gonna have to get home and get the truck ready for tomorrow. We'll just be in one truck, you know, tomorrow. I'm gonna put the small spreader along with some bags of fertilizer, because we'll be doing a good bit of mowing and fertilizing. I think I got a small little bush job I've got to do too, so we'll get that done. But yeah, y'all, hey, I got great news talking about, you know, my land, and I'll mention more about it in the next video, because I got so much really good news involving the land. So I was talking to the former owner of Ace Hardware, where I buy all my equipment from here in Auburn. He sold out a couple years ago, David Fickner. I talked to his son Michael, who still works there a good bit, and super nice people, really good, godly people. They were wanting some work done at his house, David is. And in the process of talking about work-related stuff, I told him about my land and how I'm going to be building a shop and all that. And I asked him, because obviously he's a well-known business guy, and I was asking if he knew of anybody that may be looking. Well, sure enough, somebody approached them at the same church that we go to that owns a business, and this particular guy is looking for a 10,000 square foot facility. So yeah, y'all, I'm hoping Miss Carolyn, David's wife, is going to get us in contact so we can talk. Yeah, another potential leasee, you know, of the property there, and that'd be some really, really good money each month for me. Obviously, it'd be a significant investment, but it'd be easier for me to get a loan if I have somebody lined up, especially a long-term customer in a building. But yeah, he's wanting a 10,000 square foot facility. I'm assuming he wants the offices, all that kind of stuff, possibly too. But mainly just storage and running whatever it is that, you know, business that he runs. But anyway, so yeah, that's great news. I got some other news we'll talk about later that my contractor got a hold of me the other day and we chatted about. So yeah, really excited about it, man. Some of my things are just really coming together for me. So excited about the potential there for sure. Talk more about that later. But anyway, hey, listen, guys. I hope you're all doing great, having a great week, doing fantastic, making some money, getting a lot of work done. Hope Irvin, hopefully the rain stopped up in North Alabama. I could use some of that actually here, maybe over the weekend. That'd be nice while this fertilization I've been doing. But yeah, hope you're having a great week, guys. Let me know in the comments about fertilizer, any questions you may have, and that kind of thing. God bless you. Talk to you later.